Well, it is an act of love, you all. It's an act of love, what is happening in my studio. In our bedroom, everything's a mess. But let me show you. Okay, do you see this floor? Do you see this floor? This floor. Whoa, my. Okay, see the floor. The rug is gone. The rug is gone. Now I know that may not seem like the most beautiful floor in the world, but to me, it is. So I'm just gonna give you full-on reality here. Our room torn apart because yesterday, in an act of love, Dave pulled out the carpet. And I can breathe. For the first time in 6 years, I do not feel sick in our bedroom. Although I should say there's a lot of dust and a lot of stuff still like stirring up. I turned off the air filter while I was making the video, but we have to keep it running on high and we need to get the shop vac in here. However, I slept a full night in that bed without coughing, without having my lungs filled with fluid and having to all morning long. So basically, when we moved into this house, there were rugs everywhere, or there are rugs everywhere. And I, over the course of the last 6 years, have become incredibly intolerant to the world. My allergies, my food allergies, like everything is just got worse and worse and worse. When I moved into this house, I could eat dairy. I cannot even touch it, to the point where I can't eat anything. I can't eat any vegetables. I've been carnivore for 2 months. Incredibly sick. Lost my sense of smell, and every single morning when I wake up, everybody in the family knows when I'm awake, probably the neighborhood, because I cough for 20-30 minutes and I clear out all the gunk that built up over the night. And it has become even more challenging because now my studio is up in the bedroom. So anyway, I went to an allergist a couple years ago and they were like, you are very allergic to dust mites. You are like as high on the scale of an allergy to dust mites as it gets. Now, when I was married to Patrick, my kid's dad, when I was married to Patrick, my kid's dad, slow down, girl. We moved from Seattle. We had been living in a place that I was very allergic to. That was the number one. Then we moved, and we moved out of that place. And then we moved back to New Hampshire. And we moved into an apartment that had rugs. And I was so sick. I was so sick. I would use like a box of Kleenex every single day. Like next to my bed, I would just like have Kleenex everywhere. And eventually we had to actually break our lease. I was pregnant with Chloe and there was just no way. That was like number 2 of like really bad episode. Then the lake house in the Magic Lake House in New Hampshire, a flooding had happened, some water flooding damage. And I got really sick at that house and we had it treated with like an enzyme or something. And we also pulled up one of the carpets. But there's no carpet in the bedroom in that house. But anyway, anywhere I've ever slept that there is a carpet, I pretty much have had to move. But we have been in this house for 6 years and had a carpet. And, you know, the allergist was like, I was like, what do I do? And the allergist was like, you got to get rid of the carpet. Like, there's really no other choice when it comes to a dust mite allergy. It's a nasty allergy. Basically, the little dust mites that you can't even see, it's like they live on the skin, dead skin, which is why they like the area around a bed. And they're in your bedding, so like I wash my bedding in hot water every week. I have special pillows, things like that. But basically, when the dust mites die, their little dead bodies just go into the rugs and live there forever. So the people who lived here before us for 8 years, all their little dead dust mite bodies are in the rug, and then we're adding more dead dust mite bodies to the rug, and then there's living dust mites, and it's just like it overwhelmed my system. I think there's a lot of other things that happened. I do believe that this change, combined with the carnivore diet that I've been doing now for 2 months, is going to heal me. I mean, I feel in one night of sleeping without that rug, I woke up, I wasn't coughing, I wasn't clearing my throat, and even with like the dust flying around and like just knowing that it's, you know, it's not clean and there's no new floor down yet, I feel 1,000 times better. So I have high hopes. So this is an enormous act of love. I am so grateful to Dave for doing this. It's a big job, but he did it in one day, got it done, and now we'll just look at putting new floors in, which is something we can do ourselves. We've done it together before. Dave's done it a lot of times, but I learned how to do it with him, and I think it's gonna be magic. So I have stuff everywhere. I've got like stuff, I just have to figure it all out and get everything back to where it goes. But freedom, it's just, this is gonna be freedom. I am beyond excited to see, between healing my gut with this diet and all the supplements I'm doing and the exercise and removal of as much stress as possible, trying to keep my cortisol levels down. But you know, when my body felt like it had an invader every single night and day, because I started working up here too, how could it heal fully? How could it possibly ever? It's like, so allergies, if you think of allergies like a cup here, this is the best way to think about allergies. So let's say this was my cup with dust mites, right? So my cup is already this full. So if my cup, it was probably this full. And so anything else that I might have a mildly allergic reaction to, if it went into this cup, my cup is overflowing. It's not possible. But let's say my dust mite allergy is down to here because we've done all the things to remove the rugs, we wash the bedding, you know, and my dust mite allergy is here. That means I have a whole lot of room for pollen, for animals, for food, for all sorts of things, because my cup isn't already overflowing from one allergy. So when my cup started to overflow when we moved to this house because of the dust mite allergy, I had to start doing eliminations, eliminating dairy so that I could feel better, you know, eliminating different things so I would feel better and better. And the problem being is that the dust mite allergy never went down. So I might have eliminated like this spot, but I still had all this in my cup. So my hope is my cup now, by eliminating all the food that could be causing me problems, by eliminating the dust mites, at least as much as possible, and we're working on, you know, making sure that we have no mold and all that kind of stuff, that I can start from the beginning, that as I'm healing my gut, I'm gonna get to start from here. That would be a dream come true, because I think that I have been dealing with this for, I don't know, like 25 years. I think I've been dealing with this since the very first place we lived, where I got very sick from mold. I think I've been dealing with this, and my system has just been carrying it and getting worse and worse. There's something called SIRS, which I'll talk about more when I talk about the carnivore diet and the decisions I've been making and all of that, but it's chronic inflammatory response syndrome. 25% of the population does not have the antibodies to remove an exposure to molds. Sometimes it's even like a spider bite, allergens, chemical allergens. And so our bodies just hold it and hold it and hold it, and we get sicker and sicker and sicker. And there are things you can do to get better, but you do need to make sure that your exposure to those allergens just goes away. So people with SIRS find it very hard to travel, to go to hotels, to go to other places, because they are up against, they're already, again, like filled, right? And those antibodies, everything's locked in. There's not the antibodies that say, oh, this mold shouldn't be inside of me. I should get rid of this. For people with SIRS, it's stuck. It's stuck in. So anyway, I just wanted to share this act of love. This is electrolytes. This cup is actually filled with my electrolytes. I drink one of these a day, and it has been a game changer addition to the carnivore diet, because I was getting these cramps, these weird cramps, and this particular electrolyte mix is filled with potassium, so that has been wonderful. Anyway, I don't know if you can see it, but like, I feel amazing. I feel amazing. It's an act of love. Thank you, Dave. I love you. I love you all. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Mwah.